I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was so corny.
The You, Me,
Oh
We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the You, Me, We podcast. I'm Ode.
I'm Vicky.
And somebody's calling me on my phone. Oh, bill collector. Don't worry about it. Don't call me scam likely. Valentine's Day is over. By the time you guys hear this, Valentine's Day will have been.
Oh my god, it sounds like you say Valentine's.
Anyways, by the time you hear this, Valentine's Day will have been about a week away, or a week past, or a week ago. How was your Valentine's Day, Vicky?
It was great.
What'd you do? What'd you get done? Out of context, it sounds loose booty.
I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised by what you did.
I win.
It was, I know, I was telling myself, I was like, honestly, no matter what I do, Ode wins this Valentine's Day.
It wasn't that grand. It was
a grand gesture. Like,
it was a sacrifice.
how was it a sacrifice? Oh,
When you explain what it is, people will see how much of a sacrifice it was.
so Ode took down the living room pretty much.
I took it down.
Ode like put the furniture away, like the three pieces of furniture we have in the living room, and he converted the living room into one of those like
Intimate indoor movie screening.
yeah, like a little movie
Hub.
theater hub, like you see like on Pinterest or like people will post on Instagram, but he did it in the living room.
There's a post. There's an old post of a guy who turned the back of his pickup truck into like a sunny, a moonlit star sky kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of took from that.
You know what? So Ode had me come in through the side of the house because it was in the living room, so I couldn't go in through the front entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And he had me have my eyes closed, and I didn't open my eyes until I was already inside of it.
Yeah. So she had to walk. I had to lead her into the house.
Yeah.
And she had to get on her knees.
Yeah, when he was like, "Oh, you have to get on your knees, like like on all four crawling," and I was like, "Okay."
He's like,
Yo,
wait,
this just made a left, and I don't know where it goes,
Vicky's
but
like,
I'm
whoa,
just
is it my
going
birthday?
to.
No. But that's why she had to crawl into the little like tent, because I couldn't put the tent like the little tent type thing all the way up because we're inside the house.
Yeah, and plus it wouldn't have fit like the ambiance.
Yeah.
You wanted it to be small,
So
and
she had to,
because you're
like-
laying down the whole time.
Yeah, she had to crawl. Again, certain parts of this sound so weird out of context. So she had to crawl into the little, experience that I created. And
Yeah,
then
it was really nice. He had like the little white lights in
Yeah.
between the
We didn't take
curtains.
I didn't take any pictures. I'm just like,
My camera was in the kitchen. Ode's like, "Well, why didn't you ask for your phone?" I'm like, "Cause we were in an experience. Like, I'm not gonna be like, yo, bring me my phone." And we watched one of my favorite movies. Well, we have watched it. I have watched it.
I 5%
Ode,
watched
yeah. The 13 going on 30,
Which-
which is like one of my favorite
and
movies.
it is in the top 5 of
He had like
my
a projector
worst movies of all
towards
time.
the screen. It was very, very sweet. And I was like, wow, how did like he make this happen? This is so cool. So it was really nice.
Great.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed your Valentine's
Yeah.
with an M day.
Yeah.
So we wanted to. Well, a while back we had a show with the cast of the Sorry for Interrupting podcast, Lewis and Jesse.
I was wondering, I'm like, yo,
That
what is
light?
this blue light across my face?
And definitely check them out. Great podcast. They do a lot of behind the scenes stuff where you guys can kind of see. Well, they have their vlog that they do.
Yeah, they have a vlog and a podcast.
And they definitely recommended that we, talk a little bit more, or do a little bit more behind the scenes stuff, or of how, what was it? Show people how the Kool-Aid is made. Show people how the curry's made.
I'm not good with
Exactly.
those kind of things.
So we thought we'd do a little bit of that today and talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of the creation of the You, Me, We podcast.
Yes.
A lot of you know us on air. you guys get to see the finished product. But a lot, and sometimes a little, goes into putting together just this, what we have. And I know with the upcoming live show that we're going to do in sometime in November, there'll be a lot that has to go into that. No.
We're speaking into existence?
Do it. Yes. There'll be a lot going into that. So I guess we should plan to do a lot of recording of the behind the scenes of putting together that live show. So I'm sure that content will be good. But most of you may know by now, we record in our home studio. People will come through sometimes.
Well, I don't think most know. I think that because I feel like the reaction we get when people come to record here is that they just didn't expect this here. That's the overall reaction. Like, oh, damn, I didn't expect it was like this. And I'll be like, what do you mean?
I believe we do have enough time that from when we're airing this to when we're actually going to put it out that we could add in some clips of the studio. I would do it now, but I can't remember if the studio is clean or not. I can't see the whole studio right now to look around. Because I would turn the camera and kind of show you guys. But we record at home. This is where I record, for those of you who've been rocking with me for the longest, this is where I record the Phoenix NPM Live podcast. I'm doing the quick little Zoom right now. This is where we record our show, where one room over is where it's where Vicky records her Living La Vida Loca.
No, it's not.
No, Living La Vida, whatever. Living La Vida Vicky. I don't know. I don't watch her show. Living La Vida Vicky episodes. And this is the third iteration of our home studio. Every time we've moved, we've recreated a studio.
Yeah.
And this is the one that I'll say we've used the most. This is the one that we've thrown the most into.
This is the one we've used the most together.
Together, yes.
Because the first one, I think maybe like twice.
Yeah.
I was in there.
Like I said, it's the one we've thrown the most, we've invested the most into when it comes to like researching what we need to have and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But so we record at home, which is very convenient financially. We don't have to pay somebody to,
well, it depends how you look at it financially.
What do you mean?
Because you're the one investing into the equipment as opposed to you renting an hour.
But
everything's already there.
So we have everything here, and it time-wise, it's convenient.
It's convenient time-wise because you're not restricted to the availability of a schedule or the person's whose stuff it is, because there's time blocks.
True.
And we can sit here and I mean the only time restriction is Kalau.
Yeah. So it's either we like right now we're recording this because we realized we had a block of time without him.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's take advantage of it.
Yeah, because the most dangerous thing is the whole later. Like, no, we can just do it later. So that's one of the roadblocks, right? So we're home, and we have access to this 24/7. We're always on this assumption that we can just do this later, instead of being more like, no, let's do it now. Like let's get away. Let's do it now. But your head is like, what's the rush? We're home. Mm-hmm. But life happens. We have a kid. He happens every single day, every single moment of the day. He just happens. Okay, different variations of Kalau happen. Sometimes they all happen at the same time. And then you have a job. I have, things that I have to take care of, and
you have a job.
Things happen, and so we often lead ourselves to be fooled by the accessibility of having an in-home studio. Sometimes I wish that we were like, on this day at this time, that's when we record, and we schedule everything around that. I know, but it's that we always default back to the.
Oh, we'll do it later.
Oh, we can just do it later. We'll reschedule later.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we have had to learn the hard way, which is something that I feel that other people start out doing naturally, which is scheduling times for everything. Because if they're doing a podcast with a friend, right, and they're recording, they're recording as someone.
You gonna recruit me?
They're recording at somebody's studio. they have to coordinate their schedules. They have to say, okay, on this day at this time, we're going to meet to talk about what we're going to air, whatever, to go over everything. On this day, we record. Everything's booked. We can't back out. So everything's already scheduled. Us, again, we're fooled by the accessibility.
Yeah.
We not only the accessibility, but we live in the same home, you know, so we're also fooled by that. Like the fact that we think we don't have to take time out.
Yeah.
That we don't, not that we don't have to take time out, but that we don't have to be as diligent with taking time out. How do you say that? Taking time out consistently and like firmly, being firm about the day and time always. And we do still get caught up in the whole like, oh, I guess we'll just do it later, like putting it on the back burner kind of thing. And that I feel is not realizing that and not prioritizing that causes us to kind of like fall off.
Agree.
Would you agree?
No, I agree.
Because I just realized this morning when we went to a breakfast.
Yeah, that we could have had our morning meeting. So what I'm referring to is, and I give Vicky full credit for this, we used to just be like, hey, we're going to record tomorrow night at 10.
Yeah.
And at 10 o'clock, we'll get in here and we'll spend
we'll
like 15 minutes like, so what you want to talk
we'll
about? We're like, we're looking online things to talk about.
Yeah, I'll be like.
and I'm always like, oh, I think I had a list somewhere.
Yeah, Ode always has a list, but the list never shows up. So, yeah, I was like, no, you know, we need to approach this as a business, not a hobby.
So we're having meetings. We had a meeting in Haiti, right? Did we have a meeting in Haiti while we were there?
You annoyed me that day, so we didn't have a meeting.
Anyways, sounds like a Monday to me. But I could see us doing better with the schedule, especially with me like stepping back from DJing.
Yes.
Because like tomorrow, our meetings are usually Sundays at 10. I have a gig tomorrow. Last Sunday, I had a gig. And it's like an all-day gig. So we now have to like squeeze in our meeting time. Sometimes we'll schedule when to record, or we'll try to schedule when to record, check our schedule, and I have a gig here, a gig there.
Yeah, and you know, there's also that learning curve of having to do that, because not to bring anything up, because that's not my intention.
Here we go. You about to bring something up. That's like saying not to interrupt, but I just interrupted you.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, so when we realized last week that you had a gig on Sunday, we said, hey, let's meet on Saturday. And then we didn't meet because, again, I attribute this to it being a learning curve. We didn't meet because...
What did we do Saturday? Or what happened Saturday? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we didn't meet because things kept getting prioritized over that. Like that kept getting pushed off. And I feel that it's the learning curve is in this is the most important thing on my day right now. You know, like I have to get to this. Like you know, like when you have to meet with a boss or like you have to meet with someone that you're like, I cannot miss this meeting.
Yeah.
You know, like you have those meetings, like whether it's like with your doctor or like with whoever. That's how we have to approach that. And our learning curve is making that like the most important thing that we have to do that day. And until that doesn't get done, nothing else can get done, kind of thing.
So
and I feel like that's a learning curve on the both of us, because the minute you told me that you had a gig tomorrow, which I should have known because it was on your calendar.
That you always stress.
Yeah, that
Put
I
it in the
always
calendar. Put it in the calendar.
Put it in the calendar. I went ahead and booked the freaking Valentine's Day experience on Sunday.
Now, how I know you weren't lying about that, and that was your way of saying, damn, I didn't plan anything. But let me say I planned it on the day I knew he had a gig, and then I could say I didn't know you had a gig, so I had to cancel it. I'm joking.
But
how do I know?
Do you want to go search the place? And it's on February 16th.
Let me see your reservation and your cancellation. No, let me see your reservation.
No.
Let me see. Oh,
no. I'm calling you out.
Let me see your reservation.
No.
And your cancellation.
No.
Wow.
I'm calling you out.
When you catch somebody in their own little lie.
Yeah.
Damn, wow. Way to go. Well played. Well played. Quickly ran and found something that was, wow.
Okay. So when he mentioned that, it should have immediately bounced to, okay, we have to meet on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Saturday.
I know.
We were together. We should have met. So that's what I'm saying. Like we are still battling the prioritizing, making that like so urgently important that, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like so urgently important that it has to get done. But instead we fall into that habit of like, oh, we're together. We can just do it later. And again, we fall into that habit because we've been together for 10 years. We've been together for a really long time. So, you know, in 10 years, I would safely assume that in 10 years, you develop subconscious habits that you don't even know that you're doing.
What? I'm just agreeing with you.
No.
Immensely.
Anyways. So, yeah, I feel like that's on both of us.
Some quick, like, behind the scenes stuff. For those of you who watch the videos of our episodes or just the clips, a lot of times you might notice like me, like I'll be looking to my left. It depends on where you are. My left. Looking to my left, always at the screen. Well, you just see me looking. What I'm looking at is the screen. So we do everything ourselves. We edit the episode. Our studio has all the recording stuff. So I'm always like, I'm trying to like engage in the conversation, yet still keep an eye on the screen to make sure the mixer didn't cut out, which has happened to us before, where we're talking like mid great content, important conversation, the mixer cuts out for like 0.5 seconds or sometimes even longer, and we didn't realize it. So I'm always looking over, because like I said, we do all the stuff. So that's
Ode does all the stuff because he won't teach me.
No, well,
let's not get into
I just don't want Vicky touching certain things. Or I just know that we need time. Because like I've said before, the moment the volume doesn't work, it could be like, this mixer is trash, it doesn't work. I'll be like,
know,
hey.
Like, you say mixer, ask me to point to what the mixer is.
I'm
still highly convinced that what I think is the mixer is not the mixer.
It's like the other day when Vicky texted me, was like, your computer's not working, it's not, the screen's not coming on. I was like, is the computer on? Like, as in, like, is the power button on?
Wait,
Vicky was like, oh.
Wait, but let me tell you why I was confused.
Why?
Because when I touched the keyboard and the mouse, they lit up.
Exactly.
So I'm assuming that if it's lighting up, it's because it's like, oh, let me power on the computer. And so I would hit it, and then I just sit there like. But
as we all know, it's the year 2020. And most people's, well,
I don't
keyboard,
have that.
You do have a wireless keyboard.
I have a wireless keyboard.
Exactly, and a wireless mouse.
And when I hit enter, the computer turns on. That's why I was like,
well, my keyboard.
Why is this not flicking on? I don't understand.
Mine has a backlight and it comes on.
So that's the thing. Mine doesn't have a backlight. Mine, if you touch it and you see lights, like the lights for the caps or whatever, and it turned on, that means your computer is turning on. So that's why I kept hitting it. And I'm like, yo, something's wrong with his computer. I don't want to touch it. Let me ask Ode if there's another way to turn this on, because it's not turning on.
Check the power button.
Everybody's computer's a little different. Stop judging.
Everyone's computer has a power button. And most people are like, wait, is this thing even on?
Yeah, but you said, oh, there's so much money here. Don't touch it.
Don't we telling people about how much money we got in here?
You said we've invested money.
Okay, they don't gotta know we invested money. They just don't say it.
You said it.
Okay.
What did we invest? Fingers?
Shut up. What's your favorite part about doing the podcast, other than doing it with moi?
Spending time together.
Really?
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I wanted to do the podcast.
Yeah,
this is not my thing.
I mean, it was my idea, but you know.
It was not your idea.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, here we go. Wait. No, stop. No, stop. No, wait. I'm so serious right now. All jokes aside, don't say anything. We're at a moment right now where we are referring to something from the past, where we probably have different recollections of it.
Yes.
Usually, when this happens, what's usually the outcome? I'm right, or my recollection of it is correct. Are you sure you want to do this? Because most likely you're gonna say something very generic, and I'm gonna give you date, time, location, everything, which I have in my head already. Go ahead. You know what? Go ahead. I'm gonna say. Go ahead. Because I have a response that'll give both of us credit. We probably both.
Can I? Well, you gonna let me talk or not?
Go.
How do you say go ahead and then you start talking?
Go ahead.
Okay. So.
Hurry up, because we're on a time limit, and we haven't even played the card game yet.
How are you even rushing? We played this at the end.
Well, I know, but we got to be on the road by like 12.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I don't think that you came up with it. I think that we both talked about it. Like I think someone mentioned it, and we were both like, "Yo, I thought of that too."
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
we were in the bathroom.
We were in the shower.
Or like,
we were in the shower.
There you go. I was like, I don't know if we were in the shower. Or we were like on the way to the bathroom.
No. We was in the shower.
No, we were not. We were talking about the podcast like that. We was not
yes,
in the
we were in the shower.
Yeah, but we weren't in the shower like that.
Like what? Bathing? Calm down. I ain't trying to waste my water on saucy time. Shoot.
Anyways, so we brought it up. I feel like at the same time, and we're like, "Yo, I've been thinking about it too."
And what's funny is we brought it up, and we both said it will be a good episode. It will be good content. And it was mainly to do an episode about what we ended up doing episode 50 about, the live on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
And we said, yo, people would like to hear about that.
Yeah.
And it took us 50 episodes.
Like not for nothing, but I feel like
we got stories.
We have stories, but it's so funny because we discussed it. We said, we can talk about like the things that we've been through and stuff like that. And then we started recording, and then we were like, okay, so we don't talk about any of that stuff, okay?
You know what's funny? I always think
we still got to work on it, for the sake of our relationship. We can't be just talking about that. But then that helped us come to face to face. It helped us come face to face to the sensitivity of it.
Yes.
On a weekly basis, right? Because when someone in your relationship is bothered by something, you don't really touch up on it until a random situation happens, and then because that's what was happening with us. Like it would be like we have an issue here, and then time will pass, and then we have an issue, and it'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that. But now that we have the podcast, there are times, there are weeks, plural, where we will sit here and we will just start talking, and then we don't even record because we just straight up go into an argument. So weekly, we have had to face things that are like, nope, and now okay. That's
like the other day when I told you I found that folder titled Unaired Episode. I'm like, we must have argued or something. That's why we didn't air it.
Which I didn't know that Ode saved them. But that I want to start the podcast to spend more time together, because to force your hand to spend more time together, because we were not spending time together. So I'm like, okay,
factual.
if I want Ode to spend more time with me, and again, this is not to shade you, like it's not to take a stab at you either. It just is real. Me. It's just real life. Like we were not in a good space. Like I wanted to spend time with him for reasons that's not why you should want to spend time with someone, and then vice versa. Like he didn't want to spend time with me for things that we should have worked through, and he just didn't want to be around that. That's fair. I wanted to force the hand, so I was like, okay, it can't be a halfway thing, because that's not how it's gonna be. Let's be real right now. I have to enter his world if I want to spend time with him. And so then I was like, yo, we should do a podcast. World. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I can do something that he's into. And then it kind of, we've had to stick through it.
I'll admit, I think I told you this, my initial concern was that because it wasn't your world, you were going to come into it with the wrong approach. And I feel like I was going to get frustrated with you.
Mm-hmm. And that put a damper, like it showed, because it put a damper on your response to me on basic things, like it would be something in relation to, but because of your preconceived notion of like anything that even like veered towards the edge of what you felt I was gonna like ruin for you, you were like your response didn't match.
Yeah,
and it showed like that was your agitation.
And that's me with a lot of stuff. Like I work greatly with people who I feel share the same passion for that thing.
Yeah, and which is like crazy, but it's real life because a lot of people are like that. Like if you think about it, like if you don't like someone and then anything that person does, anything, it would be the dumbest thing. It could be the way that they hold their bag. You'd be like, yo, look at this motherfucker. Look how he holds his fucking bag. He's so fucking stupid.
Oh, no. But I'm referring more to like, okay.
No, what I'm saying, like, it's in that way that it's like your preconceived notion of whatever, XYZ, no matter what it is, to other people, it's just like, okay. But then because it's that person and your preconceived notion of that person, it dampers and tampers with everything
But I was talking more like, I always think about me and stepping. I always tell people, as much as I love stepping, I can't teach. Come to me when you have learned it and you have this passion and love for stepping, because that's when I can work with you, because now I'm working with somebody who has that
You're
same
like-minded.
we're like-minded. And I felt like that's going to be the hurdle with me and you, because I love doing this. I love creating this kind of content, this kind of art, and you were just doing it for, because we need to, whatever. And I know how you are with, like, just with, I feel like you weren't gonna bring the fun, or you were gonna take away from the fun of it. That's how I felt.
That's very Capricorn of me, though.
Don't be that guy.
No. It is like, I feel everyone is true to their astrological sign.
Oh, don't be that person.
I am, because you are your sign. Holy
no, I'm just
shit.
I hate that.
No, you are your sign.
Oh my God, you're a Cancer.
All you Cancers are the same.
Oh my gosh.
But the thing about Capricorns is that we are not fun. Like, we're strict. We're very like, this is how it is, and this is how it's gonna be, and this is what's worked, and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like you kind of needed that structure.
Okay.
So I feel like creative people, I always felt this way, and this is not a dig. I think this is a compliment that they lack structure. Creative people lack structure. And I think that because they lack structure, to me, creative people lack structure in a complimentary way, as in there are no limits, there are no boundaries. They just flow. Like, it just flows, and it just ends when they decide it ends. Structure for me is like, okay, you can go, here's A and here's Z, and you can only move, bam, this much. Creative people are like, A is over there today, but tomorrow it could be right here, and Z will be all the way out this way, and then that's how it's going to be. So I feel like you benefited from what you were like, the fun that she's going to take away. I feel like you benefited from that, and I feel that I benefited from being around someone creative and seeing what you do. So,
okay.
How do you think it's working out so far, us podcasting?
Hey, we're on 65 episodes. Shout out to us.
It's been an uphill battle.
Yo, but we got this far, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to the live. We're gonna do it, the live episode.
Like, let me tell you guys something. We started podcasting in July. Right? So give or take a few weeks from July. I can't recall exactly when we started podcasting, of July of 2018. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Okay. Something where we're going with this. Go ahead.
Right. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Sure.
Meaning we should have hit episode 52 in July of 2019.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, keep going.
So there's 5 months from July to December.
Yo, you've been lost.
No, listen, hear me out. So by the end of 2019, we should have been in episode 70-something.
And it is now February of 2020, and we are on 65.
Exactly. So when you subtract all the episodes we should have had to how many episodes we have now,
that's how many arguments.
Fill those in with arguments, because those are the battles. that we have been dealing with.
But we're gonna be consistent, which we have been consistent.
Which either way,
we've been making it work.
We've been consistent. Yeah. We keep finding a way back.
And by November, we will be somewhere around 100, and we're gonna, depending on where we're at, we're gonna make sure that. Because we're going to have to book stuff.
We have to make sure that it's 100.
That by that day we're at 100, and I'm going to put it out into the universe now. And I don't know if you would be okay with it, but...
Damn, how you just going to throw me? No.
I think you'll be okay with it. Going off of our audience, I'm going to put this out into the universe. You, Me, We podcast, live episode, live show, whatever, hosted by Chris Grant. For our audience, hosted by...
I think that will be so good.
Hosted by comedian, entertainer, actor Chris Grant. And for those of you who know Chris, who know us, who know our audience, you know why that would be the perfect fit
that is the
for our
perfect
show.
Fit for the show. Oh, yeah,
so,
let's put that
Chris,
out there. Yo, I was scared. I was like, yo, they's about to corner me into something that I'm not going to be okay with.
That's us making it impossible for you to say no to hosting, because... You're not going to host our wedding because we won't have a host for our wedding. But you will be hosting.
Yo, I feel like Chris will still show up like, all right, I'm hosting
Give
this
me the
wedding.
mic, yeah.
He's like, no, follow my direction. I'm in charge
and then Vince Bracey in the background like, excuse me? If anyone's going to host this wedding, it's vincebracey.com. But yeah,
that would be really, really cool.
Let's play the end. Let's ask some questions. We haven't done our.
Wait. Let me ask you. I know
we're running out of
time, but it's okay if we're 5 minutes leaving from when we're supposed to.
Go ahead.
Okay. How do you feel what do you feel podcasting has done to our relationship?
It's kind of what you said. It's allowed us. One, it's allowed us time to be together that otherwise we would have let go by. There's the word I'm looking for. So that's one. Two, it has, through some of the conversations that we've had, through some of the things we've added, some elements we've added to the show, such as this card game that we always play. It's given us opportunities to have certain conversations that we have either avoided, had trouble having, not realizing needed to be had. Those two things. So I feel like it's definitely had a positive impact. And also it's given us something to call ours. We have a son.
Yeah, I was like, we have a dog.
A home.
We have a son.
It's given us another thing, a creative thing, art to call ours.
Oh, that's so pretty. Well, you said that was so nice. Okay. All right, then. Okay.
Now we're going to play the end?
Yeah. My God.
So for those who have been watching us for the past couple of weeks, and again, this is not an ad. We just like this card game. It's a couples card game called The End. And
again, I always have to correct Ode.
Okay, go ahead. It's a card game that has a couples
edition.
And we're going to
It's not a couples card game. It's a card game that you play with someone that's important to you. Yeah. It could be a friend. It could be a parent. It could be a sibling. It could be someone you're in a relationship with. And they have different additions to cater to those relationships.
Oh, you already picked?
I already picked mine.
And we encourage you all to keep every time we post this,
I just made sure it wasn't a sexy time one.
Tag The End and say, yo, these people keep playing your game. Y'all should sponsor them.
I know. No, you know what they would do?
This is not an ad. They should come on the show.
It would be great if they sponsored us, but imagine they invited us to do a YouTube.
Do one of those videos? Here's the thing about that. I feel like here's why I feel it would have a positive impact on us.
Because our followers would grow?
No, because here's why it will grow. We would end up going on the Ann's YouTube channel. And of course, we would be a little more open that we are here, which would force us to now come back and be like, well, can't hide it anymore. Here's the truth.
So here is an explanation of the first 5 seconds. And next week we'll explain the next 3 seconds. And then we'll literally have to explain every single part.
The Ann's going to be like...
And I feel like they're actually not that far away.
They're going to be like, we only allotted an hour for this conversation, and
we're still on topic 1.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're playing, and we usually pick a card, and I think I went first last time. I honestly can't recall.
So you're doing a ladies first?
So the way this works is Vicky picked a card, and she'll ask me a question.
Yes, and you have to answer.
And vice versa.
And again, sometimes these questions are too deep, and we just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So we try to answer as quickly as we can, and then if the question is something that I want to pursue and O'Day no longer wants to keep asking about it, I will try to sit in here afterwards and just stare at him like,
you know what?
So do you want to do a deep dive? And then you're like, I want to finish editing this, and then we'll never touch it again.
I'm going to put this out there for episode 66. So
next episode.
So during this week sometime, by the time you guys have heard this, we will have done this. On our Instagram Live, I know sometimes we'll ask you guys for topics, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do that. Ask for a topic or ask something you want us to talk about, whether it's just about us. And we're going to actually pick one. So be creative, I guess. Do we want to make it specifically, what's the topic about Ode and Vicky that you want us to talk about? The best one or the most like saucy one, we're going to pick that one for episode 66.
Okay.
And we can't waver from it. We can't hide. We can't be discreet. We have to just straight up.
You know what, guys?
We got to be 100.
Okay.
So go ahead, ladies first.
Describe one experience you wish we'd have in the future. Oh, this is so perfect after Valentine's
Day. An experience?
Describe an experience, just one that you wish we would have, which is worded weirdly, but that you wish we have in the future.
This is gonna sound so weird, only because a coworker of mine just went on a vacation where her and her husband stayed in an echo pod.
I don't know what that is.
And when she described it and described the experience, and it kind of made me think about the whole shower conversation we just had, because like the bathroom is kind of like, or the shower is kind of outdoors, and you're always under the stars pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? It sounded weird when she first said, "Oh, we're going to this echo pod," but I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this at some point with you and I, because last night being in the little setup that we had, it did kind of give you that whole vibe of being under the stars. And she said that was the main thing with them. Whether you were in the room, whether you were taking a shower, whether you were just kind of hanging out, you were always like under the stars. So I would love for us to do that one day.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
My question to you, I haven't even read this yet. When was the last time, different card?
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to discreetly give the answer without, and then see if it compares. Okay, I'm going to say 1. Everyone remember that. I'm saying 1.
Okay.
All right? When was the last time you considered ending this relationship, and why didn't you?
Damn. Yo, these cards are so trifling.
So what's the answer? Wait, where's your card?
Oh, here. Sorry. I
put
forgot
them all on
not
the
to
bottom.
put them back.
So what's your answer? Remember I said 1. Go ahead.
Okay. How honest can I be? Like,
just
an
that,
estimation
the question was
or a day?
when and why didn't you? So when, give a time frame.
A time frame. Okay, that's what I was saying. Like, how specific? Earlier this week.
1 week ago. That's why I said 1. 1 week ago. And again, if I promise y'all,
no, it is it's about a week ago. It's like a day or two short of a week.
Okay,
ago.
hold on. And again, this is not. It's not that we're not lying to you guys as listeners. We're not holding back. But we are kind of holding back.
We do hold
but
back.
I promise y'all, if we didn't, you guys would definitely be more like, I can't wait till next week's episode every week.
And you know what?
But,
I have full faith that we'll get there one day.
But actually, you know what? I think a good friend of mine, Biz, said this on his last episode of his podcast, the New Hype Show. He said, you don't gotta tell people everything.
You don't have to tell people
for the sake
everything.
of your relationship, for the sake of your privacy, for the sake of
I feel like you have to be both in the greatest space to know that you can talk about something.
Yeah.
And no matter the responses or the reactions, you're like, no, this is exactly what it was for us.
Yeah.
But
for that live show in November, I'm airing shit out. No, I'm joking.
No, he's not.
No, but go ahead. Answer the question.
So about a week ago.
Okay.
And and the reason,
you get it?
yeah, so I got that one. That was only a few years ago. So,
get it? A few years ago, started it faster.
I know. Oh dang! I'm trying to ignore you. I thought we had somewhere to go. Okay, so the reason why I didn't was because I felt like, I didn't, because despite everything I was feeling and everything that was happening and just everything was like, you should go that way. Mm-hmm. I am so deeply invested, not like in the corny way invested, but like I've only seen that vision for myself.
Okay.
And I just feel like hard times, no matter how hard they get, I just feel that hard times eventually pass. And so after they pass, do I want to be here or do I want to be somewhere else? And that's one of the reasons why I stayed. Because I'm like, hard times are going to pass. It doesn't matter. But my choice is that I want to be here. Now, if that's not what happens in the end, then let it be, because we both mutually decided on calm and collected brains that this is not what's best for us, but we still have to work through that hard time either way. So I'm still in it until we're both like, it's just not going to work no matter how hard we try. But that's why I'm still in it, because it's kind of like that bullheaded, like, nope, I still see it. Like, I don't care how foggy it gets, I still see that all the way at the end.
Cool.
So
awesome. You know what we don't have? We do and we don't. We don't have an official
outro,
custom outro. We need like and blah 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 blah. I don't know. We just need to. I feel like we need a more official, personalized outro.
We'll work on it.
All right. Thank you for listening to the
you totally forgot about
podcast.
Doing it.
We out. Actually, you want to tell them where we're going?
I actually don't know. So this is.
You know what? We'll talk about it when we get back.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't